Alright everyone, hello, greetings and welcome in, hello! My name is Harrier Citadel, avian alien sentinel of Fort Mystehaven, perpetrator of creative chaos and general maker of things, and welcome in, hello! Hello Calyx, welcome. Excellent thumbnail. That's on Twitch. I can't remember what my thumbnail is on Twitch. But good to see you. How are you doing? Just checking if sound balance is good before we get too into things. Eek. Sorry, you can hear my chat. I need to look at my seating arrangements, but that is another day's problem. Just rearrange that cushion, maybe that will help. There we go. Okay, that ought to help. There we go. And like that should be good. Okay. So, room decor win. When we've got ideas, we had like one object that people could figure on the Discord. Maybe we should put this in the room somewhere. So for now, I will need to brainstorm more on that before I do anything, because currently the ideas are not sufficient. The ideas presently are not yet sufficient for decorating my room yet. So yeah, let's put it this way. Whenever I do find myself having a moment to play a game and there is a room decoration feature, I spend the least amount of time in the room decoration feature. So yes, it is something that I need to look into more, but it is currently not gonna happen within the bounds of March. Let's just put it that way. Definitely not within the bounds of March. Yeah, we'll get there eventually. Just need to come up with an actual plan. Yeah. The current room decor was a temporary solution, which has thus become a permanent solution, so we will get there. But what we are doing today is we are getting there on another front. Today we are going to be doing some writing, and I hope that everyone will actually participate a little bit in this one, because it is actually not going to be hidden behind the hex curtain. We are actually writing in a completely visible state today, because we're doing side questing that has nothing to do with actual plot. We're just kind of working with side characters and seeing what happens, right? So let us head over to where we're gonna be working. And yeah, we will figure it out one little step at a time. So I have exactly 0 plans so far. We are still in very much the ideation phase. I'd hoped to be able to do that a little bit earlier in the day, but I needed to test some stuff out on another level. So I had to just assist some housemates on certain things, and that resulted in me needing to apply my attention elsewhere leading up to stream. So let me just make sure that I've got everything open that I need open. Yes, there we go. Okay, cool. So we are going to be looking at a super short visual novel. That's what we're going to be planning for writing for. Because I want to code one up in Godot and actually have that have something that is playable. Like, it's always nice to have something that you can show people at the end, so that it's not just I've made a thing and it's only going to live on my hard drive for all eternity. Psy Prime, whoa, late night Harrier jump scare? No, actually, on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, this is actually my normal stream time now. This is my actual normal stream time now on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Gasp. So I'd stream early on Mondays and Thursdays, but this is my normal stream time now for Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So, but it's good to see you, Sai. I hope you're doing well. Okay. So let's think about plans. So we know that this is going to be a short thing. And, doing all right? Good to see you too. Ah, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Yes, we're doing some writing today. Hopefully it'll be entertaining and engaging, and we can come up with some ideas. If you guys have ideas, this is the invitation. You can throw ideas at me. Let's see what we can come up with. So let me, instead of having this one be plot, let's call this one concept. Put that down and put this back on normal. Okay. What we are trying to achieve. We are trying to achieve a 1 chapter super short visual novel, side story for project Mystehaven. Da-da-da-dum, ba-da-dum. So what's this? Just a written story or a mini video or something? Yeah, just answered. Yeah. So this is just getting everything on the page that we need to be able to kind of make a plan, because we need to actually have a plan to be able to script it, right? So it's side story for Project Mystehaven featuring the support staff of Unit 46. Now, at this point, there are a couple of things that we have not yet determined. Does this happen while main plot is happening? Does this happen before main plot? A side story, so you're thinking a prologue or something concurrent? I'm thinking something, I'm not sure. I don't think it's going to be prologue, because it's not actually going to feature anything that is majorly plot relevant. I need to stop asking questions that you're going to get to 2 seconds after I hit enter. Yeah, so we're just asking the questions. We're asking the questions that we're going to figure out together. Then we need to think. We know this is not going to necessarily actually impact main plot in any way. So, not gonna impact main plot. So, what I think we might have as a good I think what it is a good hook generally for something that is non-essential but kind of fun to know is usually going to be something like a first day on the job sort of a vibe, or a moment where characters are meeting for the first time in the context that they're going to exist. And I think that as a way of introducing the characters generally is really, really useful. There's an immediate sense of conflict because neither of the people knows one another, so there's immediately going to be scope for some butting of heads while styles of doing things might vary. So possibly possibly we could have something like that, or we could have something like they've been working together for a couple of days, couple of weeks, maybe, we're not sure. The conflict, someone lost $1. Hello, Toaster, welcome in. And save. I'm writing on a Google sheet, so it saves automatically as well. Yeah, it saves automatically. Hello, Toaster, welcome in, welcome in. Good to see ya. Hope you're doing well. The other thing is possibly, maybe something like this. Maybe something like that. Sudden inconveniences are also usually pretty good for having something to actually happen in plot. In news, I have begun my first steps at my new job. Nice, nice, nice. And I'm basically going back to the gym. Awesome. I hope that things continue going well in your new job scenario and that your gym activities bear fruit. May it go splendidly. Yoo-hoo! That's fantastic. I know you mentioned the possibility of like a troop management element for the gameplay thing, but I can't imagine that's ready yet. Thinking that's all. This is just a basic VN. Yeah, no. This is the side story. This is just me trying to get the technical elements of how to handle each individual thing. So, like, here in the document tabs, I'm going to actually put together tabs for each of the little side projects that I want to put together. So, this little side story VN is one side project. Then I've got another mini game that I want to build, which will also be pertaining to the actual build of the main thing. As part of the playable elements, where we're going to have certain mob behaviors involved in that. So I want to make a mini game that's all about throwing things to guide a target towards a goal point while avoiding hitting you. And that will build towards the playability of Mystehaven as well. Then I want to do another one, which is going to be... and I know we're doing a little bit of sidetracking here, but that's fine. So far, the new job is okay, and I hope it bears fruit. Someone has to cosplay from Goro from Genshin, and I will take up that mantle and the dog ears. Ah! I hope you enjoy the Goro cosplay. Oh my word. To be fair, everything looks better when there is a doggo cosplayer in the room, honestly. Well, there is the hydrate timer, first one for today. So everyone, acquire your nearest safe for consumption beverages. And let's take a sip. I set it to start a little bit earlier than usual today. In my world, we're trying to cut down on the amount of coffee that we drink. because, you know, caffeine being neuropoison and all of that. But, there, yeah, let's just say I am currently on rooibos tea. You did want to incorporate a conflict or some kind of action, you could maybe just do a simple and text and choice based. Yeah, like, for this one, I'm going to just stick with simple text and choice. Just to get the VN elements down. And make sure that I know how to build that aspect of it in the main project, because I do think it's going to probably switch between the VN style of gameplay and then also the more gamified gameplay. It's going to toggle between the two if I figuring the pipeline of how it's going to look right, like how I'm envisaging. Like maybe in the display of day on the job, you just learn some facts about the basic creature that may be fought. Yeah, that'll be the case for for that. For this one, we're actually dealing with the support staff. So Erna and Dari are support staff. They do not actually go out into the wilds. They don't go into the mists. So this is a much more domestic situation than what we're going to encounter with our active units in the Mistguard. So it's going to be this side story is very, very small and contained in terms of the scope. Like, it's super small and contained in terms of the scope. I didn't realize what kind of support you meant, like non-combat. Yeah. So, literally, we've got the cleaning lady and the cook who have additional administrative responsibilities. That's who we're dealing with as our characters for today. The cook and the cleaning lady. I was going to write something on that third tab, but I forgot what I was going to write. It's fine. I'll get to it later. So yeah, this is going to be something much more domestic. And yeah, we shall see. So I should probably give a brief physical description so that you guys can figure out, or so that you guys can see, have a better sense of what we're dealing with. Relatively short, brown, bob haircut. Okay, and for Dari, we've got not really tall because Terrace exists. Relatively tall. Okay. That should cover our physical descriptions a little bit better. Yeah, just kind of mentioning that he has forearms is probably an important thing. Just kind of a little bit in terms of physical description. Also probably important. So let's think. What can we have as a potential inciting incident that needs attention? Let's think. I want to open something in my other window here real quick. Let me just go to calendar. I want to see in this one over here. Let's pick have I not got everyone listed? Okay, that makes sense. That he's on the 4th of January. Okay, never mind. Have I really? Yeah, I've really got not everyone plugged into my calendar yet. Okay. I briefly thought maybe I could do something with everyone's birthdays, but it's not plugged in yet. I haven't got that captured yet. I think I was still figuring it out. Okay, we'll figure that out. An inciting incident, like a work-based or relationship-based. I think something work-based that can kind of give us something to work with in terms of dynamic. I feel like I don't necessarily want to go relationship heavy in the sense that this is going to be short and I don't want to charge this relationally in a way that could blow this little thing up into a longer span project than what it is intended to be. Just double checking, is the audio balance okay between me and the stream music? I feel like it might be a little bit loud, but that's just me. I'm not sure. I mean more like character, like external, internal. I think this is gonna probably be I think it's probably gonna be more of a an external sort of a thing, because it's the sort of thing that can be resolved quickly. Usually internal conflicts take a little bit more time to digest and develop. So we want something that's not going to really have more than like an hour's playthrough value, I think. I don't know if there's much to this, but my first thought regarding a problem both a cook and a janitor would have to deal with is some kind of big feast. I feel like I have to agree with that. That's why I was briefly checking out my calendar, as to see, okay, is this going to be related to one of the team's birthdays? Maybe. Maybe. Like, I feel like it could be a birthday episode for someone on the team. But like maybe someone who's really, really, really difficult to throw a birthday for. Or maybe some sort of breakthrough in whatever's being done at Mystehaven. Yeah, I think with the way quote-unquote main plot is going to be happening, I want to kind of avoid... Yeah, I'd want to avoid main plot because it's something that... and on one hand, it's still got a lot of scope for change going forward. And also, it will make no sense in the context of the limited scope of narrative that we're actually delivering here. yeah, I'm getting the sense that maybe we should do something. Maybe. Who's someone that would be difficult to do birthday stuff for? I mean, Harrier and Ton, they don't even know when their birthdays are. Harrier because she's lost her memory, and Ton because, well, he simply just he hatched on some day in the springtime, and after that everything is jazz. He is a simple dragon. It's just, I hatched, I hunt, I exist, and here we are. Don't steal my lunch. He's a simple guy. So those two don't even know when their birthdays are. If you want to use this to simultaneously use this as a setup for the main plot. Without getting too into actual plot stuff, I don't think it would be necessary to have a full sense or yet be in depth. Yeah, I think I sort of want to have this entirely isolated from main plot things. This is the cook and the janitor after all. They don't have to understand all this stuff. It's not a matter of them understanding it, because they have actually been in the system a lot longer than most of the other people in the team. Like, they've actually been in the system for quite a while. Aside from Lark, who's been in for a significant amount of time, the person who's been in the Mistguard for the longest in the entire team is Kerith, and she's only been around for 2 years. So she's like the second most senior member on the team at 2 years in the Mistguard. Everyone else has been around for maybe a year, maybe a couple of months. For others, they've been around a couple of days by the time plot starts. So it's it's very much a matter of these two will know how things generally work. And they have a very, very firm grasp on the world. So it's not like they need to learn anything themselves. That would give us an the helpful explaining this shortcut for introducing world build to new people. I guess it's just my cinematic universe and big moment brain that can't resist the idea of making things connected. Yeah, I think making things connected to a degree is useful, but there's also the high likelihood that if this gets picked up by anyone for playing later, because I do want to make it available for people to play, I think what we should aim for is something that is a bit more character-centric, in the sense that it's focusing on these two who aren't going to have POVs in the main game, right? Not quite a day in the life of type vibes, but something that is straightforward enough for someone to follow if they've got no idea what's happening in the rest of Fort Mystehaven. But also something that is just connected enough so that if you are actively familiar with what's happening in the big overarching world, you can appreciate that it's not a complete discontinuity. If that makes any sense. Like, the where and the how is connected just enough, but it's very self-contained. So I don't think we need to have I don't think we need to have too much in terms of actual world building exposition. Yeah. So let's make a note of that. Not too much world building. Just surface level awareness. And that could actually even just be delivered in the blurb. So that means that what people need to know is that is to work in a dorm unit for a patrol team in a fortified city. That is the absolute surface level. Where people from a wide range of worlds find themselves stranded beyond their control. Okay. So that is about as much as you need to know about the world in order to be able to follow along. Is that that you have a rough idea of where they are and why people of all weird and wonderful shapes and sizes exist here, and the context that they work for a patrol team or with a patrol team, and that they are the cleaning and cooking staff with additional administrative tasks. So that is pretty much all that a reader ought to need to know to be able to at least start to follow along the story. That's what if you need to know more than this to be able to understand, I need to reset my timer. There we go. What is going on? Then the scope has gotten too big. There we go. Okay. Right. So then we need to think about the next thing. So there are generally two reasons why there would be some sort of bigger than usual meal in a dorm in the Mist God. The one is that it's a birthday of some description, or the anniversary of someone's arrival in Mystehaven if you are not someone who's familiar with what your original birthday actually is. And the other is if you're retiring. And I don't think we want to go for a retirement party. The subsequent full story later is supposed to be standalone anyway, yes? Yes. The side story isn't supposed to be a required reading, just optional. Yes, it's supposed to be entirely optional. You should not need to have read this in order for the full thing to make any sense. Yeah. It's literally side questing. Not part of main scenario. So, that means options. Birthday or retirement are only reasons for a bigger than usual domestic effort. Retirements don't usually happen after anything good has happened, though, so I'm not really keen on doing that unless. How long ago would that have happened? That must have been like, Not a huge amount of exposition, just enough to tell people where they are. Yeah. Nothing that sets up main plot, no action, just characterization and vibes. Pretty much. Just characterization and vibes. That is what we are aiming for. So, let's think. Unless we take the question that started the stream as a consideration, which is room decoration when? And say maybe maybe something like that. Upgrading from the temporary barracks. Maybe that's an option. How long would the temporary barracks have existed for? Okay, that's a little bit of world building, maybe, but not a bad amount of world building because it's not necessary information for main plot to make sense, but it is something that's interesting if you've not if you're interested in that developmental stage. Maybe. It's got to do with the age of the fort itself. And how long facilities have been in existence. If we consider that there are parts of the fort that are actually maybe still under construction. That might be interesting. Because it's totally a normal thing for temporary structures to become permanent ones and not be entirely sufficient. But there are things that are just way more important than upgrading. I think that is something that is totally reasonable. In terms of the prioritization of development in a city that is growing an awful lot faster than what the resources can keep up. Possibly. That might be something. Especially if we consider that perhaps the rollout between the dorm units might actually I'm thinking aloud to myself while actually trying to also censor myself at the same time. Okay, so I'm actually liking that a little bit. I'm liking that a little bit. Because that also would be a useful way of explaining why all of a sudden two people would have a first day on the job kind of vibe at the same time, as if it's basically a new facility. I'm kind of liking that vibe. I'm actually kind of really liking that vibe. And if we make this a significant amount of time before plot starts, like a significant amount of time before plot starts, then any discontinuity in terms of their behavior in this thing and the main narrative when it comes to pass, it might actually be a little bit sensible as well, because there will have been like 5 years of working together. They kind of figure each other out by then, I guess. I think that might be an interesting thing. And if it's setting up the location then is where the later game is, it's now a teaser of sorts while still being a self-contained story. Yeah, I feel like that might be the vibe. I'm liking this idea more and more. Let's make this 5 years before main plot. There we go. It's already a sort of teaser, I guess, but in a connected way without being main plot related. Yeah, sort of. Some of the other things are definitely going to be drastically less connected, if at all. Like, I don't even think that the stealth distraction minigame is going to be connected in any way, shape, or form, aside from mechanics. Like, that second document tab, that is going to be a strictly mechanics-based test. Visually, narratively, if there's going to be any narrative, I don't think there's going to really be much in terms of narrative aside from describing the goal. That one is probably going to be entirely separated from the actual Mystehaven concept, if I'm being very, very honest. But the mechanic will be important for later. Building mechanics and then putting them together later. Okay, so let's see. If it's the christening and setting up of this fortress, it's not the fortress itself, just this dorm block, but yeah. Then that gives the janitor some stuff that happens before the big event too. That was one of the issues I was thinking of. That for a big feast, the cooking happens before, but the cleaning happens after. Yeah. Like, that's why I've also given them additional duties as well. So, while Erna might be in charge of the cleaning, she's also in charge of managing the inventory. So I've specifically split inventory management and procurement as a means of handling a little potential administrative nightmare in terms of people procuring more than what they need, things go to waste, etc., etc. So having those two duties split, say, okay, we need these things, we've got these things, and then potentially there is perhaps some arguing about, okay, but do you really need these? What kind of alternatives can we get together? We've only got this much in terms of resources that we can use to acquire what we need to procure, all of that madness. So perhaps that's also something that could be a point of conflict. Okay. So let's roll with that then. I'm liking this. I'm liking this. Let's highlight these. Okay, so let's give ourselves a little bit of a synopsis then. Let's just rename this synopsis so that we can come up with a plan, right? And what I want to do is I just want to switch this from format. I want to go switch to pageless. There we go. The resource management she does would then be entwined with the preparation of the food, right? Because Forearms Guy would have to coordinate with her for getting a large amount of stock than normal. Yeah, exactly. To know what there is and what needs to be acquired as surplus in preparation. That seems like it would be reasonable. Okay, so the synopsis is going to, in a nutshell, then be, let's start with the Mist Guard barracks have been falling apart for the last decade. Dun dun dun. I'm bad with names and I've been watching too much Ben 10 stuff, so I can only think of forums. It's fine. Dari is probably very, very used to being called Forearms. Okay, so the Mistguard barracks have been falling apart for the last decade. The late Marquis had initiated the renovation project that had been delayed over and over some time ago, but progress had been painfully slow. Now, only 10 units are left out of the planned. No? Four units are left out of the planned construction. As the new paragraph, the newest building that has been completed, unit 46, is now almost ready for occupation by its first team of patrol knights. There we go. I didn't call him Forearms, I called him the Forearms guy. Am I gonna have to make an apology video for this? No, you're not gonna have to make an apology video for this. I promise you. He would not take offense at it. He's way too laid back for that. Also, I'm pretty sure that I'm pretty sure that Ebony would also call him Forearms. Honestly. Ebony is, interestingly enough, the guy who gives everyone on the team nicknames more than anything else. And he would 100% call Dari Forearms. So, you're not going to have to worry about that. It's legit probably going to be canon. It is probably going to be canon. Okay. So, the newest building has been completed. Unit 46 is now almost ready for occupation by its first team of patrol knights. However, the patrollers can... Oh, not the patrollers. The knights cannot do everything themselves. Judo, hello. Canonical name, Forearms. One of his names is definitely canonically Forearms. Thank you, Ebony. Oh, welcome in, Chudu. Hope you're doing well. Tea! Yay! I think tea is in order, actually. I know we're ahead of our hydrate timer, but tea. There we go. So, the knights can't do everything themselves, and the dorm unit is being constructed with a provision for 2 support staff. I actually wanted to find out, can you guys hear my keyboard? If you can, great. If you can't, oh well. I think you should be able to, though. Let me just see. I don't know why. I think it might have something to do with my input language. Let me just put this here. I don't think I'm going to need too much in the line of additional characters here. Would there be a bunch of food dislikes and food allergies to have to handle in planning the feast? visibly comedically so, which could also be some non-necessary but interesting character factoids. Okay, you can hear the keyboard. Okay, cool. I do think some dietary restrictions are going to be part of the thing, but considering that this is going to happen 5 years before our main cast assemble under the same roof, I don't necessarily think that any factoids that we gather would be appropriate for the people we'll actually be dealing with in terms of dietary requirements. Okay. Not everyone's there yet. Yeah. Like, I think the person who arrives most recently before plot starts is going to be Tarn, and he literally arrives the day before plot. Maybe some more general species stuff, if anything. Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be very generalized. Very generalized. Okay, so let's continue. Let's think. So we've got basic setup. Each dorm unit is being instructed with the vision to do support staff. The new hires who have been selected to inaugurate the building staff complement include 2 mistlings who have applied for the task for, let's put some character spin in this, drastically different reasons. Come on. My spacebar does not seem to like spacing from the left side of the bar. Interesting. So when I use my left thumb to spacebar, it's not taking. It's quite annoying. Okay. Then delete. Let's think. Okay, so the Minister of Mistling Affairs is very much expecting a smooth launch of the new facility. Your spacebar not spacing, but then it's just a bar. Yeah, your thumb muscles are getting too strong for the bar. No, it's I don't know. It's like the spacebar is just not responsive. It's weird. Very, very weird. And in any case. And has informed the... It's like I have to double space. I hate that. Okay, I needed to change keyboards. What the blazes is with... What is with the American keyboard that it does want... that it wants you to hit the space bar twice to get a space? Ew. Okay, so it has informed the new hires that... Because now it's taking. Now it's taking on the first time. Weird. Smooth launch of the new year, as he has informed the new hires that no. And the Knight Commander has informed them that they will be receiving their first occupants. There we go. What do you mean American keyboard? I mean on my input languages, because I've got a couple of different keyboards installed. That you came from the soul. It did. It very much came from the soul. That you have to press the spacebar twice to get a single space to come in. That's pathetic. It's honestly pathetic. But yeah. So while the US layout, which is what this bottom thing indicates, just indicates that we're working on QWERTY and not on a different letter layout. The top line indicates kind of more the input style and language. So this one will give me additional characters when I'm using for example, the inverted commas or extra stuff like that. I've never seen that before, and I only have the American keyboard. I don't know if I blame America for that. Nah, it's just got to do with input locales, I'm pretty sure. It's something that happens when you've got multiple keyboards installed. No idea why you'd have to press twice to get a space. Yeah, but I do know that for certain institutions, there is a rule that when you are writing essays, you have to double space your spaces. Otherwise, you get a null on your essays. It might have something to do with that. And that's the hydrate timer. So everyone, acquire your nearest safe for consumption beverages and let's take a sip. Tea is now cold. Ew. That won't do. Thankfully, I have acquired the flask. American standard space equals 2 European spaces. Yeah. Nah. I ain't got time for that. I've not got time for that. One click for the spacebar. Please and thank you. There it worked. Left thumb. It worked. One click. One space. No problem. Wild. Let's reset our timer. Okay. It's like miles and kilometers. Yeah, that's Are you saying our spaces are just smaller than yours? I don't know. Like, a space in terms of character coding, ought to be just a space. And it all just depends on your font and font size. But the way that that input is behaving, I don't know, it makes no sense to me. And there it's bumped. Let's just check this out because this is driving me insane. I will go all day on the metrical imperial system thing. The same people that make fun of us for using it are the ones that invented it. Yeah, that's so true. But sometimes when you make something, you are also very, very quick to realize, oh shucks, that doesn't work. You can own having invented the thing and then deciding that it wasn't good and leaving it. Okay. It might just be that my keyboard is... Not you, the people who did. Yeah, no. But like, if one is... Yeah, I know what you mean. I'm just using the pronoun you as any creator who comes up with a thing. Any creator who comes up with a thing and then realizes later down the line that it doesn't work. There is no shame in abandoning the thing that you realize doesn't work. The pronoun one just did not seem to fit in that sentence quite so well. One could use this pronoun one in the sentence regarding one's invention and the abandonment thereof. However, it sounds very difficult to follow. Okay. You weren't misunderstanding? I was just saying because I was monologuing. Okay, fair enough. Me when I realized that all spice is not the same as all the spices. Yeah, I get you. It is the spice that spice all. The spice that spices all things, not necessarily abandoned my spice creation. Gasp. But what is the thing that spices all things, if not salt, pepper, a little bit of garlic? Yeah, salt, pepper, and a little bit of garlic will do the trick. Were you trying to acquire all the spices? Good question. Good question indeed. Okay. Let's continue. Just looked it up. Apparently allspice isn't even a mix of all spices, it's just a name for one. Oh my word. Flitterpuff, hello, welcome in, and thank you so much for the raid. Welcome in, everyone. My name is Harrier Citadel, Avian Alien Sentinel of Fort Mystehaven, perpetrator of creative chaos, general maker of things, and presently doing a little bit of writing things. Very lovely to have you joining us today. I hope that you had a really good stream, and thank you so much for the follow. Welcome in, welcome in. Hello, hello. Yay, good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Apparently, allspice is named so because it happens to taste like a combination of cinnamon, nutmeg, and clove. Ooh, interesting. Yes, hello raiders. Pleasure to have you joining us. Gender Pirate, welcome, welcome. Thank you for the follow. As well as for you, Flitterpuff. Also, the follow is greatly appreciated. I don't know if anyone actually followed me over, but hi! Yo, thank you. We appreciate it all the same. We appreciate it all the same. We were in the middle of a tangent. We were indeed in the middle of a tangent. What we're currently busy doing is we are concepting an idea for a super tiny visual novel that is going to accompany a bigger project or prepare us for a bigger project that we are going to be working on or have been working on and are going to continue to be working on over the next couple of months. So I'm busy doing the planning for a couple of little side projects that are going to lead into what will eventually be a game. So I am writing a VN for today. We're going to do some sprite drawing for it tomorrow. And then probably sometime next week, we're going to potentially try coding some stuff. And somewhere down the line, we're going to start building mini games for other mechanics that I want to implement into the main thing. And later, when we've got a whole bunch of other pre-production done, then we're going to actually start developing the actual game. We have a plan. We have a plan. It's crazy, but fun, and I'm looking forward to it. Lol. But I hope that you guys had a fun stream. Flitterpuff, what were you guys up to? Nice, nice. Yay! We did. We decided to do a surprise Tuesday writing stream. Oh, nice! Nice. What sort of writing were you doing? Hello, Chaos Mouth. Yeah? You want to laugh? Chaos? Okay. I think he's trying to tell me that the bowl is empty. Okay, I'm gonna be right back. Feed the cat. because otherwise he's going to start jumping on stuff to tell me that the bowl is empty, because it is in fact 4:30 in the morning. So I am going to be back in 2 ticks. One moment, please. Let me just... Okay, I've realized that I have not yet got that in place. Cat! Yes, cat. Let me just do this because I realize that I am missing things. Let me just add a thing here real quick so that it's not as broken. That's not what I was looking for. I do not want that there. I was looking for... not you. You. Add that group to the scene. This is only my second day using this streamer laptop, so things are not 100% set up yet. But anyway, okay, there we go. Now the music is there on the Be Right Back screen. Let me go sort this cat out. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. Okay, I see what you're doing. Okay, cool. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me head back over here. Okay, we're back in full force. Okay. Ha-ba-dum. We are going to try and lock in a little bit. Okay. We're going to try and lock in a little bit for this planning. Because up until now, we have been streaming for an hour and 25 minutes. And we have only gotten quite so far as the roughing out a concept and roughing out the synopsis so far, which is not quite entirely there. We have the amount of exposition that we need to understand what's going on, and we have the challenge that our characters are facing. And now we need to actually go into first draft mood. It's a new story because I had a temporary hiatus. My previous one got burnt out after 80 plus chapters. Oh wow. I can understand that. Writer's block sucks. In every sense, it honestly sucks. Lurk and food to avoid tangenting you. No, we enjoy the tangents. We just also want to try and, you know, be productive at the same time. But it's fine. Okay. Let's think. Okay. So we've got synopsis and we've got first draft. That's where we're at next. Okay. Move chair to right position. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna dip out for now, but good luck with the brainstorming. Thank you so much. Have fun. If you guys joined in with Flitterbuff, I hope that if you've decided to stick around, that you enjoy it. And if you decide to move along, I thank you all the same for dropping by. I hope you guys have a fun rest of your day, however long may be involved in that day. Alrighty. So now I think we should probably figure out, are we going to write this from Erna's POV or are we going to write this from Dari's? It's more for me because I feel bad. Ah, no, don't worry, don't worry. It was nice meeting you. Likewise, Flitterbuff. Have fun out there. Go do what you needs to do. Always girls POV. Maybe. I don't know. The main story is going to be from mixed POVs, so it's like, eh. And I always write in third person anyway, so we'll see how things happen. Because I think I'm going to keep this POV quite consistent in terms of how I'm writing it with the main story. Because while we will be with the main idea, the sense is that we've not got a null entity MC, and you're playing different routes with the visual novel. That's not going to be the plan. But we're actually following the story of the character whose POV we choose, but from that character's POV we're within third person, because it feels very, very weird for me whenever I personally read something in first person. It feels super weird and disjointed for me in first person. I think that's one of the reasons why I've always struggled with VNs a little bit. It's because all of the ones that I've tried have been in first person POV. But I think that I'm going to write this in third as well, just to keep things consistent. I don't want it to feel like it was written by someone else when it's not in fact written by someone else. At this stage, anyway. Let's do the thing. Okay. Yeah, are we in agreement? Do we want to go from Erna's POV or from Dari's? I wonder. What do you guys think? Spoiler alert, I'm asking for input. If you are here and lurking, I appreciate it right now. Especially from the regulars. Like, which one would you prefer to work with? Yes, Chudu, keep laughing. That little turtle emote is absolutely adorable, by the way. Wait, could you repeat? We don't know whose point of view we're going to write this from. Are we going to write it from Dari's perspective, or are we going to write it from Erna's? I heard VN in first person, but don't remember. I struggle with first-person POV. I personally, as far as reading goes, prefer reading in third person because first person feels really weird. I know a lot of people do it for immersion, but it actually breaks the immersion for me a lot more, because trying to assimilate myself into a character that makes very different kinds of choices from what I would make, it breaks my brain a bit in ways that I don't like. So I like to do things, if I'm going to follow a POV, I still like to write it in a third person, but with a limited perspective. So it's a third person where you see what the POV character is thinking, but you can't see what anyone else is thinking. That's the kind of writing style that I lean towards. And that's what I'm also going to be applying in the main plot when we do that, eventually, later. But yeah. Would you guys prefer to read from Dari's POV or from Erna's? That is the question. It makes sense, but also for a VN? Yeah. Considering that I will still be writing in a third-person limited perspective in the main thing, I'm not going to try and assimilate you guys into each character, because you're not going to be playing a non-entity at any point in time. Or a self-insert. Whichever one is more clueless. I like mystery though. Whichever one is more clueless. I somehow feel like that's also going to be Erna. Like, she'll be more clueless, but more uptight. That might be the rabbit talking, though. That might be the rabbit talking. This is definitely my keyboard. A POV of a more clueless character leads to more questions. I'm just scared that if I'm not careful, she's gonna sound overly stressed in ways that's annoying. Okay, let's then. Okay. More questions is more intriguing. Okay. Let's try something. I'm thinking. You see, if I was writing this like I was writing the main thing, there would be two entirely different stories here, because each character would get their own POV. I was trying to keep this one simple though. So there'd be 2 routes for the same plot. But different things are going to be visible for different people. Okay. Let's do... Let's do exactly that then. Because making up my mind is breaking me more than trying to... Making up my mind is breaking more brain cells than trying to make anything make sense. So, for a unified concept. So, let's go with this. That sounds like a good start. That sounds like a good start for him. That gives you a sense of where he's coming from. And let's make Erna's entrance a little bit more urgent. I can roll with that. Okay. That very different starting points. Which I think if I do actually make this a dual storyline, which is entirely likely at this point, this is pretty much how it's going to start out. Very similar in terms to how we can expect things to start for the main thing. Every character has their own starting point, which makes sense for them. And at a point, they are going to converge, and then plot happens in tandem with different focuses on different things for everyone. So that was our hydrate timer. So everyone, acquire your nearest safe for consumption beverages, and let's take a sip. Okay. And this is going to be the last one for today. Last one for today. Okay. Krahazik, hello, hello, welcome in. Hope you're doing well. Great to have you joining us. I will expand on that after, not in the first draft, because I will expand on that later. For now, we're just first drafting, which means we're just getting ideas on the page, and then we will refine in edits. Okay. Let's think. Let's think. Okay, that could work. I will expand on that with a bit more interesting prose in a next draft. Let's think. Okay, that could work. That could work. That could work. That could work. Save. Okay. We are in fact saving. Yay! Autosave, my best friend. Okay. Right. Okay. So we've got a sense for where Dari comes from now. Great. Now before we move on, let's continue with Erna, I think. Or shall we? Where's the brain? Where's the brain? No. A little bit more in Dari, and then we will move over. Okay, I think that will give us a good foundation of how Dari gets involved in the support unit for Unit 46. So let us have a look at what's happening with Erna. Okay. Being chased by something that looked like a tarantula crossed with an electric eel was not on her bingo card this morning. Something twice her height that looked like a tarantula crossed with an electric eel. Now, just to give a sense of scale to this entire madness. Okay. Okay, that'll work. Okay, that'll work. Now, oh my word, how has it already been such a long time since I started that timer? Okay. Okay, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Okay, that's a good starting point. That came a lot more easily. I think that came a lot more easily than Dory's for now. The starting point for a lot of mistlings is very, very similar in terms of how they actually get involved in things. If you guys are seeing a pattern here, yeah, there is a pattern here. Okay. Let's think. Now I'm curious. Wait. We're still under 1K? Okay, that's not gonna fly. If I don't hit at least 1,600, I'm not gonna be happy. Okay. 1,600, let's go. There were definitely less struggling Harrier noises. Yeah. Let's just say that I've written something not entirely dissimilar to this. Less struggling Harrier noises, more keyboard click noises. Yes. I've written something not entirely dissimilar from Erna's draft at least once. At least once for another character. Not quite the same, but similar enough for it to be very familiar territory. Okay. Now. Let's think. Okay, that works. And there's our timer. Oh my word. Yeah. Trying to get that 1K before the stream ends was not gonna happen. Okay, hydrate. Everyone, acquire your nearest safe for consumption beverage, and let's take a sip. I'm hearing birds outside. Okay. Word count. Okay, we beat the 1K. I'm feeling better. Yes, it's counting all of the rest of this, but that 1K is a good number for a relatively short writing session, so I'm happy. Considering it was a lot of brainstorming as well, that went pretty well. So I have a sense already of some of what we're gonna need in terms of our sprites. So when we work on that tomorrow, we'll have something interesting to go by. Good job, Brain! Yay! Yes, I think we are definitely in a slightly better position than we were an hour ago. I feel like we've definitely got more of a solid grasp of what's going on. I think that this is actually going to be a pretty solid piece of canon work. So I'm actually pretty happy with it. It feels same-ish enough with how the main piece is progressing so far that I feel like, okay, this is actually a canon spin-off. It's not a non-legit piece of blah, so I am happy. Oh, guys, we have achieved some things. Like, first drafts are arguably one of the more challenging parts of actually writing a piece of anything, because it is includes canonical forearms. Indeed. It may yet be a while before Dari gets called that nickname for the first time, but he's got it. And we also get a sense of, okay, why has he got forearms? No, he lives on a planet, he comes from a planet where you need the extra limbs, because otherwise you're going to fall into an abyssal sea of stormy water that is endlessly deep. Because that's just kind of the environment as people are made for, you know? It's a totally valid reason to have multiple arms. 2 to hold you in place and 2 to do whatever it is you need to do, right? That's what I like about having this sort of a setting where I can kind of think, okay, what's a cool adaptation that people can have and why would they have it? And then sort of just make it fly. Don't need to explain all of the other worlds in too much detail, just give enough context to make it work and roll with it. I enjoy that quite a lot. I think that's one of the fun things with the Mystehaven world builders, that is something that we can do. Because we've got people from all sorts of places here. I am in fact, quote unquote, not the only alien in Mystehaven. Technically, everyone who isn't part of the native species is an alien. Gasp. There is lore that you did not expect to learn this day. Sometimes you just need a helping hand, and sometimes you need 3. The number of times in the last month that I have been envious of Dari's extra limbs is not to be sniffed at. It's just like, I need a third hand here, people. Just, too much happening in kitchen. Give me third hand. Help! Where's the sky hook? For the thing that needs holding. Oh my word. That I haven't just put something in midair and dropped it yet out of sheer, oh, I need my other hand for something right now, is actually hilarious. But no, that was a lot of fun. Thank you guys for joining me for some writing things. I hope that you guys have a little bit more of an idea of what all is going on now in this first draft process with Project Mystehaven as well. A lot of it is thinking, and we are in the first draft stage for a lot of our main characters as well still. We have not yet gotten through main plot in terms of the writing of the first draft for anyone, really. And I've been doing a lot of work on antagonists in the last couple of days as well. So I want to make my antagonists interesting too, because you gotta have antagonists for an action story, right? Gotta have antagonists for an action story, and they can't be passive. So I'm trying to make them interesting and important, and not, you know, fancy lamps, if you know my meaning. So I want to have my antagonists have stakes involved. So I've been doing a little bit of work on that, and that's obviously going to impact especially later parts of the story a bit more as well. But knowing who all are players on the field does help a lot in terms of seeing, okay, what kind of involvement are they going to have. So it's a bit of a process, and it takes time. It takes time. So yes, we were chatting a little bit in the earlier parts of the stream, but like you can see roughly, okay, for 1,000 words worth of first draft work, how long it takes to actually concept and get stuff down. And to do so without it being completely nonsensical shorthand, so that later me won't want to punch myself in the face, it takes a little bit of doing. Me when chatting on phone and also making coffee and making eggs. Why do I only have 2 arms? Yes, very much so. Very, very, very much so. Oh my word. But yes, so yeah, this is more or less the process that I'm going through with main plot in Mystehaven as well. Except instead of juggling 2 POVs, I'm juggling 9. Casually. Just 9 of these guys. And it's fun. It's a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to being able to share it all with you. But this side story, I can share the process basically start to finish, and that's kind of what the plan is going to be. So we're going to be working on this side plot for the foreseeable future, as well as the Mystehaven streams go. So tomorrow I will start a little bit of spriting. I think I might I think I might have to start with Erna, because she's probably going to be the more easy one to set up sprites for than Dari. So we'll start there. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do limited sprites as well. I'm not going to do like full body sprites. And also pretty limited in terms of the number of expressions and everything. Just to, once again, keep it small, keep it compact, keep it to the point in terms of what we're trying to develop and what we're trying to learn. Having an extensive, a more extensive than absolutely necessary sprite library is not an efficient application of time. And we want to be efficient with time so that we can spend more time working on the actual project after things. So we will be working on sprites tomorrow. In between everything else, I have got quite a lot going on from tomorrow onwards, in terms of things happening in the IRL iteration of reality. So much as possible, I will be in the Discord working on commission stuff from as far as possible, but I can't make any promises for in terms of actual availability, because this weekend is going to be mad. And I've still got 2 days of prep before the weekend, because there's a big job coming, and there's a lot of meetings before this big job. It's kind of like my unofficially it's a second job, but technically I am, you know, just the labor that needs to be there, but we're not actually all together getting paid for it. Family business madness. It goes into the family business kitty, it doesn't go to me directly, so blah. It's fine. We're handling that. So side job is happening. It's a big event that we've got to handle over the weekend. It's going to be multiple days. It's going to be chaos. And come Sunday, I'm going to be absolutely exhausted. Saturday starts at 4 in the morning and it goes through till like 6 at night, one shift. And I gotta be sharp for that the entire way through. So it is going to be a long day. A very long day. And Saturday starts at like... No, that's Saturday that I just described. Sunday starts at, I think, 6 in the morning. No, Saturday starts 3 in the morning because we have to be on site at 4 for setups for an event that starts at 7. It's insane. It's insane. Sunday, the call time is going to be 7 o'clock. Event starts at 8, goes through till about midday. So it's going to be a lot. Sorry, Automod? Yeah, okay. It happens. Automod is on mega mode. Good luck with the chaos. Thank you. Thank you. It's gonna be a lot. So just FYI, don't expect me to be anywhere near social media on Saturday or Sunday. Too long did not read. Friday, also very high likelihood that I will not be able to be on social media or in the Discord much, because of final preps before that madness. So I do know that I'm going to be spending a little bit of time on that in my waking shift now between 9 and midday. I know I'm going to be doing a little bit of prep for that. That kind of chaos. Good luck. Yeah, no. Like when I say that we're doing the crazies, creative chaos. It's legit chaos. when a shift like this comes, it doesn't happen all the time, but when it comes, it's big and it's a lot, and there is no extra hands that can help. So we survive. Such is the life of gigging. You just survive it. Right. So it's gonna be a lot. I will see about if I've got capacity tomorrow between nap time and stream time to work on commissions. I need to put in hours on that. It's been a crazy last couple of days doing prep work for this gig as well, so it's been tough finding spot. Also, we've finally gotten server solutions back up and running, and files have been transferred back. Unfortunately, it means that I lost layers on Sishian's work again, so I've got to redo his shirt that I was pretty much almost done with previously, after the file got corrupted somewhere. I don't. So his artwork has taken a couple of knocks in terms of the production pipeline already. So I don't want to spend all of my Discord time working on that in terms of redoing stuff that you guys have already seen. It is part of the job, but I don't want to necessarily bog down on that side of stuff. Why don't we have 4 arms? My word. Probably because imagine having 2 clavicles that can break per side. It can only be painful-ish. Yeah. Anyway, having 4 arms is only as good as having as many computers as what you can do stuff with it, right? At least in this era, anyway. So yeah, I'm gonna be really, really busy over the next couple of days, and there's nothing I can do about it. And it's brain busy. A lot of it is brain busy. So I will be doing preparation for that, doing the thing, coming home. Monday I'm going to be hopefully recovered by stream time, in which case we're probably going to continue writing on Monday, because it's pretty low pressure in terms of doing the things. So we're probably going to continue writing on Monday if we stream. Tuesday and Wednesday we shall see. Thursday is birthday and I have exactly 0 plans, so we will wing it on there. In terms of what we're actually gonna do. And yes, hopefully by then we will have some semblance of sanity and stability. But let me just check, because I need to make doubly sure that I'm getting things right. Then we've got 1 week of normalcy after next week, and then thereafter I've got another chaos week, because also the 28th and the 29th is another gig. So that's going to be a bit... End of March is also going to be crazy busy as well. So I will hopefully be a little bit better off, because what we've been doing now the last few days has been a lot of the backbone setup for this stuff that is going to be pretty identical between this weekend coming and the 28th and 29th weekend. So it's gonna be busy, it's gonna be crazy. And I'm just warning you guys all in advance for that. Thank you for making me suddenly aware of my clavicles. You're welcome. Yes, be aware of your clavicles. They are important, and they hurt like crazy if they go. You would be amazed how much having that pivot point is an important thing for your mobility. You wonder how cats get away without them. I'm 90% sure that cats don't have clavicles, if I remember correctly. Huh. I'm not gonna look that up right now. Guys. It is 5:30 in the morning. I am going to greet you. Thank you for joining me. I hope you had fun. I will see you tomorrow for being sprightly. And we shall pick things up again as it goes. As you can see with our little yellow thing that's just gone over, please consider subscribing to the YouTube channel as well. We are about 3/5 of the way to being able to apply for monetization, which will give us a lot of the additional functionality that will make things a little bit better on the YouTube side and a little bit more convenient. Reminder, YouTube is my main channel, just by the by. Yay, more chaos. You're busy? Yes. Yes. When I say that I exist in chaos, I am not kidding. So yeah, we are about we are officially on 300 subs on YouTube. Yay, thank you guys. Which means we are 3/5 of the way to where we need to be able to apply for monetization. So if we can get that, we'll be able to do things like closed membership streams where we can work on some things that I can't work on in public. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Big project work. Mwahahaha. As well as incorporate some integrations and things. Like the fourth wall integrations. And the associated madness. So yes, we are working on getting to all of the things. I am probably going to put work on Harrier V2 behind some sort of a membership wall as well. For now it might be for Twitch subs, but later if we can get there, it'll be behind YouTube memberships, and those will be not streamed to Twitch, obviously, so just be mindful. So yeah, we've got a lot on the cards, and it's gonna be a wild March. So if you spotted my post on the socials about singing March and me postponing to August, now you know why. It's like, I really am not ready for singing March this August. Help. I am really not ready for singing March. I wanted to participate this year, but I did not anticipate March not existing in my iteration of reality, so... Oh well. Oh well. Whew. Fun times, right? And in between all of this, I also want to experience other things besides making stuff. But we'll get there. So yes, everyone, good night, rest well, have fun. I shall see you tomorrow for Sprightly Madness. So until then, thank you for joining me, and cheery bye. Have fun, Misslings. Isn't it nice knowing that you're all Misslings, just like Erna and Dory? You could very well have found your way here being chased by things that look like a cross between a tarantula and an electric eel. Fun times. Fun times. What crazy creature chased you through the mist march? Who knows? Maybe you are the crazy creature doing the chasing. Night night.